tonight, but we're going to get through the first part of it before we get to the clown show. And I would like you to just please, if you don't mind, we are streaming live, and any kind of noise, whispers, talks, clicking of pens interferes with not only the streaming audio, but also the transcripts. So if you could, we are going to have a member forum. I know some of you folks have already let me know you'd like to say something. We're going to go through this whole process, and at the very end, we're going to have a member forum. And hopefully everybody that wants to will get a chance to speak and address the board. So, so the voting is closed, and I have a couple announcements. Audio and video recorders are in use. No, you're all good. And by the way, we've got a group of some fine employees from the Supervisor of Elections Office that have helped us out this entire day, and they're going to finish up their job. So we just want to give them a quick round of applause for helping us out. Integrity of elections is very important, isn't it? Yes, it is. All right, so please fill out the member form sign-up sheet to address the board. I believe it's currently in the lobby back there. If you want a ballot for agenda item number 9, removal of directors, please have your driver's license ready to confirm your membership. We'll be doing that toward the end of the meeting.
Item number 10.
Item number 10, I'm sorry, it says number 9 on my sheet, but number 10. Item number 10. All right, the first thing is the number of members in attendance at the beginning of the meeting. Mr. Crickler?
Yes, so we had 12 members present in the audience this morning, and since we kept the meeting open, that constitutes meeting the threshold for conducting business. Okay.
So the minimum is 10, and we had 12 people here this morning, so this is a legit election. Proof of public notice of annual membership meeting. Mr. Crickler.
Yeah, so tab 4 includes that information, tab 4 in your packets. At first, you'd actually just document all the different ways we've reached out with this information, and then the second page is the actual notice published in the Navarre Press noticing this meeting tonight.
Okay. All right. Going on to number 5, financials and audit update. Again, Mr. Crickler.
Yeah, so typically at this meeting we would review the November and December financials. Since we're not doing other business at the annual meeting, next month, which will be March, we'll review November, December, and January financials all next month. The 2024 audit is underway, and we expect to have a presentation to the board at our April meeting. And of course, the 2023 annual audit is available to members upon request.
Awesome. Awesome. Good job. Moving on to number 6, election results announcement. They are currently working on that right now. And as soon as they get that information to me, I will read the election results into the record.
So was Phil, so was Clint. So was Phil, so was
I think that would be the general.
a lot more than 12. More like 35, 40. Yeah. We're just trying that was the
I go there for breakfast. That's
Not counting us, right? Not counting us. Not counting us. Yeah.
Wasn't me.
That one had 5. That front row has 5 instead of
the government said it was and they have a big I'm hoping y'all will go home if we run out of food and water.
Maybe if you guys made a tap fee, you'd have water here.
That's the one thing I don't understand. We're a water system.
That's what we were saying, that you ain't
Oh, I don't want to drink it up there.
That's all I heard. Anyway, that's not right.
Thank you.
Make you be a surprise to everybody else. Yeah, you'll be surprised.
Yep. All right, so the results are, with 240 votes, Carmen Reynolds. With 217 votes, Pamela Hardy. And with 214 votes, Darrell Enchert.
All right. Thank you. All right, so we have the election results announced. Congratulations to everyone who got elected and re-elected. And we would like to give this moment to any board member who would like to say a few words on their way out. And Joe, would you like to say something?
Yeah, it's been a crazy 4 years, especially sitting in the seat, and the real howling of our water system is the folks on the ground. When you see Josh and Ryan and their crews getting out of bed and going, fixing breaks in your water, Buddy out there.
We couldn't hear a thing in the back because they're rolling the machines.
Okay, Harlan, I'll start again. Thank you.
Or whoever was speaking, would you please start over?
Sure.
Thank you.
It's been an interesting 4 years, especially when I sat in the interim seat. But to me, I think we've made some strides, especially in our business processes throughout the system. And probably the best part, and the part I'm going to miss really, is seeing the guys like Ryan and Josh out there pushing teams, breaking, fixing brakes, Buddy out there on the bulldozer, concentrating on getting the water system and us as members clean water. And I want to say thanks to particularly to staff, Phil and Clinton, Amber in the back there, and Emerald. And Jeff, since you've been on board, I've learned more about water than I ever thought I needed to know. I'll leave it at that.
Mr. Linnell, would you like to say something?
Sure. Pretty much what Joe said. Just to add on to that, this coming year could be interesting. I wish the new board luck, and I hope they do at least two things in particular. One, we talk about it almost every other month. Resolve the golf course, please. Either agree it's good or do something else with it. Secondly, get rid of proxy voting. Figure out how to do it. But other than those two things, hey, it's been a great time. Appreciated serving everybody best I could. You'll see me at least out in the audience. I don't know about up here anymore in the future, but at least out in the audience. So thanks, everybody, for your patience.
Thank you, John. And I can just say, working with these guys for the last couple of years, they're honest men and they're men of integrity, and I personally would like to thank them for their service as well. All right, so now we're going to move on to the new board members. We're going to seat the new board members because we have some more on the agenda tonight. So let's see. Ms. Reynolds, if you could come up, and Ms. Hardy, if you could come up.
The other day, I'm like, what do we do? And I was ready. So I was like, what? You're going to
Thank you.
All right, new board members are seated. We're going to move on to number 9 here, the board reorganization meeting. According to our bylaws, we have to have a meeting within 10 days of the annual election to select the organization of the board, board president, vice president, secretary, and who's going to be on different committees and so forth. So it's tentatively scheduled for February 27th, which is a Thursday at 6 p.m. If that changes for some reason, we will absolutely announce it as quickly as we can. All right. The staff recommendation, we finalized that. Is that date good for everyone on the board?
Yes, I'm good with
That date and time, good? Okay, it's good with me. So that date is finalized, I suppose. All right. All right, now we're going to go into the Holly Navarro Water System Bylaws, Article 8, Section 6, Removal of Directors. And we're going to start with Mr. Will Dunaway.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Per Article 8, Section 6, our bylaws call for the removal of a director if charges are presented by either a director or by a member. If by a member, it takes 10% of the members to sign a petition. If by a director, no such signatures are required. In this case, Director Darrell Lynchard presented charges against 5 directors, 3 of which will proceed tonight based on the seating directors that are present here tonight. David Crumley, Rob Lowe, and Mark Miller. Director and President Dave Crumley also presented charges against Director Darrell Lynchard, and therefore, in accordance with the Holly Navarro bylaws, all parties have been notified in writing at least 5 days prior to this meeting, and this matter was set for the next meeting of the members, which was duly noticed for tonight. That is why this matter is coming before you tonight. Each director presenting charges shall have the opportunity to be heard either in person or by counsel and to present witnesses. The directors against whom charges have been presented shall have the same opportunity. Following the opportunity to be heard, verified members in attendance will vote by a written ballot. And then Vice President Mike Matthews will read the results. Members who are present, there is going to be a process, as the chairman indicated. The ladies will be back at the books in the foyer to get you and present your identification, ensure that you're a member. The only way that we know that is to go through that process, at which time you'll be given a ballot. On that ballot, we'll have the names of the directors who have been so charged and who are currently seating directors, and you'll have a decision to either remove, there's a block for removal, or there's a block for do not remove. We'll process them in the box, which is, Amber, please, yes, raise your hand, the box in the corner. We understand that this is going to take some time, and we appreciate your cooperation as we both verify that we have members who are voting and that then we're then processing your ballot and then putting it in the box. Obviously, we'll be doing this by hand count because there's no other way for us to process it. The reason, of course, that we're verifying you again as a member is because on this matter, just as the election of officers, only members of the Holly Navarro Water System may vote, and this is an open meeting to the public, so there may be those among us who are not members of the Water Board. It will only be those who are members of the Water Board who so choose and who are voting. Your presence will be indicated by the ballot that is in the box. So when we close the voting, that is, everybody has had an opportunity to be verified to put their ballot in the box, then when we finish, everyone has voted, everybody has put their ballot in the box, we will open the box. The canvassing committee, the 3 of those of us who you just watched go down and count, will go down and we will open it and we will count. we'll count two things. We'll count the number of total ballots in the box. That will be the number that is present and voting. And then from that, we will then count the yeas and the nays for each of the directors. With that, I would, by earlier discussion, I understand that Director Lynchard, who presented charges chronologically first, I've asked him if he would like to be heard individually on each of the directors so charged or collectively, and he indicated collective. The Director Lynchard.
Okay. I just have a few questions for the three board members up here. Do you believe we have a competent attorney?
I do.
You do? Mark? David? David?
I don't have to answer your question, Darrell.
So you don't know if
That's
we
not
have...
what I said. I said I'm not going to answer your question, Darrell.
Do you believe our attorney has a good understanding of our bylaws and the Florida laws?
Seems to.
Mark?
I would say yes.
Okay. David? So do the three of you believe that the board of a $150 million publicly owned corporation should vote to violate its bylaws and the state laws? You think that makes a good board member?
I'm not going to answer that question because I don't think we did that.
It was on video that our attorney told you that proxies could not be denied under our bylaws or Florida statute 617.0721. It's public. It's been posted online. It was last Monday.
Darrell, move closer to your mic, please.
Oh, sorry. That's it. That's all I have. I don't think that board members should violate our bylaws and state laws, not in a publicly owned corporation. I think you violated your fiduciary responsibility, and I don't think you should be board members any longer.
So
I mean, what next?
I will
next-
answer that question. Yeah, I agree with you 100% that board members should not vote to deliberately violate our bylaws or the Florida statute, knowingly.
And that's what happened last Monday.
We'll get to my charges too.
Okay, that's it. I think he should be removed, and we'll be voting on that later. So,
Anything further, Mr.
nothing
Lynchard?
further.
Do you have any witnesses to call?
No.
Director Crumley, response?
I would like to have a response. I've jotted down quite a few notes here. My biggest response to Darrell's accusation is that he is the one that made the motion to approve the proxy procedure as written. He's the one. And I'd like to show that slide too, if you don't mind.
How's that for dramatic effect?
Where's Emerald?
Yeah.
Time to replace the batteries.
Jessica, you got her? You go get Emerald? There, I thought you were coming up.
She went through there.
Yeah, go grab them if you don't mind. Thank you.
Yeah.
So just going back to, we had a meeting back in August of 2024, it was August 20th of 2024, where we decided, and collectively as a board, decided how the procedures were going to happen in the election. And there's a section that talks about proxy voting. In the first slide, when it comes up, I'd like to read that to you.
We're having technical issues.
All right. So I'll read it to you without the slide.
I'll go ahead and stick.
Officers and directors may be removed from office for good. Oh, that's not the right one. I'd like to read the actual procedure. Here it is. All right, this is from the August 2024 meeting. Proxy and absentee voting. Proxies will not be mailed with the annual notice. Proxy and absentee voting is from October 28th, 2024 to December 20th, 2024. Proxies and absentee ballots to vote for the directors would be available upon request only by calling 850-939-2427, extension 237, by email to the election@hollandvaarwatersystemflorida.com, or by coming in person to the corporate office at 8574 Turkey Bluff Road. Any and all proxy and absentee voting member or spouse requests will be requested to verify active membership with either their WIPP PIN or driver's license. The deadline to mail voter requests from Holland Var Water System is December 4th, 2024. So that was the election paperwork that we were given from the staff. The one that made the motion to approve that, as presented, was Darrell Lynchard. So for a board member to accuse, and there we go right there, thank you. What am I supposed to do?
He was at the
Not
slide,
yet, I
we'll
mean,
play the video.
yeah.
So this is, that's the next page that's go back, and then you move this button down.
I'm wondering why staff has spent a lot of time suing
Okay.
his case for him.
It's just amazing to me that this is even going on. And obviously, everyone can tell that it was a complete and total setup because Darrell didn't show up to the meeting. So here's what happened. This is chronologically, right? And by the way, this is not something that I created. It's not something that the board members did behind Darrell's back. This is something that's been out there in the open for the public to see and read. Darrell agreed to it. We all agreed to it. So that's point number one. We created this procedure to ensure everyone has an opportunity to use a proxy vote, as is written in our bylaws. We were also trying to eliminate fraud because proxies have been for years the biggest source of fraud in the Holly Navarre Water System Board of Elections, and I think we can all agree on that. So here we go. This is from meetings of that meeting, the notes from that meeting. Darrell Lynchard made a motion to approve the 2025 annual election documents as presented. Mike Matthews seconded the motion. The motion passed unanimously. And I have no idea what I'm doing.
All the way
You're on
down.
it.
All the way down.
Right here?
Yep.
All right, this first part we're voting for Mike to be the...
Mike Matthews be nominated for the canvassing committee. I've got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Mr. Matthews,
the 2024 election documents that was in.
say it. I've got a motion and a second to approve the documents as presented.
All right.
Any discussion? So how are we gonna socialize this? I mean, for candidates, we're talking multiple ways, it'll be in the newspaper, website, all that stuff. Okay. Newspaper won't be until Friday, and then website will be until tomorrow, we'll start working on that.
Oh, there we go.
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the documents as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. I make a motion that Mike Matthews be nominated for the canvassing committee.
Emerald, oh, there we go. Okay. So let's move on to the next thing that happened. And by the way, at no time from the August 20th meeting until late January or even now, did Darrell ever come before the board and say, hey guys, I have some concerns about the proxy procedure, which would have been the right thing to do. We're a board of directors. We're supposed to work together to solve problems, set procedures, policies, budget. We're supposed to work together for those things. But instead of coming to the board and letting us know that he had a problem with the procedure that he had originally agreed to, he kept it to himself. And the soonest that we could have a board meeting, as soon as I found out from Jeff on the 5th, February the 5th, that Darrell was going to use his own proxies that he was printing for himself. We immediately got on a conference call on the morning of the 6th with Will Dunaway and discussed the issue. When we got off the phone, matter of fact, while I was still on the phone, I called for a special meeting. I asked Jeff to set it up, and I emailed the entire board members. And this is Darrell's response. And in this response, it doesn't look like he's working with anybody, does it? I will not be in attendance, nor will I be providing any proxies in advance of the deadline established in the campaign documents. Please protect and keep all correspondence and documentation regarding this election, as I will be pursuing compensation for my work product, which I still can't figure out what that means, that has or will be disclosed without my consent. Again, it doesn't sound like a board member who's trying to help. It sounds like a board member who's trying to set people up. So we were able to call a meeting on December 10th. I mean, not December, on February the 10th is the earliest we could do it because of our bylaws. And, you know, obviously Darrell refused to sign up. We had some candidates here at the time who were very adamant and very emotional about us approving to use outside proxies, because that wasn't the procedure that we all agreed to. Darrell made the motion, remember? Okay, so we're 8 days out from the election when that meeting happened, and Darrell wanted us to approve those proxies, which meant we would have changed the whole procedure. Changing the procedure 8 days before an election is not right. As a matter of fact, it's fraud is what it is. Everybody else, all the other candidates were playing by the rules, except for Mr. Lynchard, and we didn't even know how long he had been collecting these proxies. We had no idea. So he put us between a rock and a hard place, and he did it on purpose. He didn't show up to that meeting on purpose. Because he's a coward. He didn't want to face the other candidates out there.
You're getting close, sir.
And also, he wanted to set us up. That was his purpose. So anyway, so we had to vote to protect the integrity of that election by keeping to our original procedure that we had all agreed to. So we did. And not once have I regretted that decision. Even the next morning when I got the complaint from Darrell asking me to be immediately removed from the board here. Now, board members I've served with, including myself, have missed board meetings for a number of reasons. Sickness, being out of town, vacations. But I've never in my 2 years have ever seen a board member simply refuse to show up to a meeting. I thought that was our job. We get voted in to be members of this board so we can help make decisions and help work together for the betterment of this company. And he simply refused to come here, for he's probably got other reasons, I'm sure. But looking back at Darrell's decision not to show up, it makes perfect sense. The other candidates who were following the procedure that he agreed to were in attendance. And also, you've had to explain to them why you're printing your own proxies and didn't let them know. So he had an unfair advantage. Matter of fact, the first proxy that he collected that way was January the 30th, so he had already had 11 days of collecting proxies before any of the other candidates even knew what was going on. Unfair. Very unfair. And we could not allow it. Okay? The first reason was that. The second reason is because he was trying to set us up. And I think I just made my point there. But it makes no sense to me that a board member can charge another board member for making the exact same decision that they made. How insane is that? How insane?
Excuse
the fact
me,
that
which
he's
laws did I
asking
break,
to,
sir?
he's asking
Excuse
to,
me, which bylaws?
we are not,
Mr. Dunaway, this is not supposed to
be.
be a back and forth.
It's not.
It's David's turn to give his testimony. Mr.
Well,
Lynchard has
David
already had
can't
his
sit up here and
chance.
lie.
Well, you've already had your chance to present.
I've got a lot of
your
proof
case.
here. So anyway. So in accordance with our bylaws, the meeting was set up for February 10th, and that was as quickly as it could be done. The board voted 5-0 to 1 to continue the procedure throughout the duration of the 2025 election. We understood that changing the policy at the last minute would have allowed an unfair advantage to Darrell Lynchard. We did not know for how long he'd been printing and gathering his own proxies, and we would have been allowing him basically an unfair advantage, which we felt was unacceptable. So we did the right thing. The next morning, February 11th, we got served with a complaint, all 5 of us. And I just wanted to say this. The right thing to do, if he was concerned with the procedure that he had already agreed to, as soon as he decided that he was no longer in favor of that procedure, he could have easily come to the board and we could have had a quick meeting and we could have discussed it and we could have made maybe a different decision. But because the meeting was so close to the election, there's no way we could do that. Absolutely no way we could do that. So here we are, the 2025 annual meeting. The election was fair. All candidates had the same opportunities, the same timeline, and the same procedures were followed. And for that, I'm very pleased. What happens next, I'm not sure. I've already confided in my wife a couple of times that I probably won't be seeking re-election. I've got a 3-year term. I've got 1 more year on my term. But I've tried my best to make this board respectable and trustworthy. I've voted every time for transparency and full disclosure, which is how I believe you gain trust from the members. Darrell is trying to use proxies he and his helpers have gathered to vote me off this board. Whether he's successful or not, my conscience is 100% clear that every decision I've made since being on this board for the last 2 years was thought out, it was honest, and it was the best decision for the Holly Navarro water system, and more importantly, the members. And by the way, Holly Navarro water system now owes over $10,000 in legal fees for this whole fiasco. So if he tells you that he cares about your money, don't believe him. He also doesn't care about litigation, which he claims he does. Because guess who's threatening litigation, right? So it raises so many questions. I had so many questions when all this came up. First of all, why didn't Darrell come to us? Why didn't he come and say something to us, to Jeff, to anybody, that, hey, maybe we're on the wrong track, maybe we should change course here because I think we're maybe in some legal jeopardy here. Why didn't he do that? He had plenty of time. He could have come to us January the 30th, and that would have still given all the other candidates plenty of time. If he would have just not collected any proxies and said, hey, I have no proxies, but I think we should do this, we could have debated that and made a different decision maybe. But he didn't do that. So why, first of all, why for an unpaid position? We don't get paid. Why for an unpaid position is he resorting to all this? Why didn't he bring this issue before the board when he felt that he had changed his mind about the issue? Why did he start collecting proxies on January 30th without telling anyone? When I called a special meeting to address this issue, why did he not attend? He could have used that opportunity to explain his position and state his case and go on the record that he was now against the proxy procedure, again, that we all voted for back in August. So he's still not on the record saying that he disagrees with that. He's just charging me with agreeing with him back in August. And did he really think that the rest of the board would agree to change the rules, change the procedure 8 days before the election? I can't even fathom that. Why is he claiming he cares about the members' money when, again, because of this fiasco, we spent over $10,000? Why is he claiming to be worried about lawsuits? Why did he confide in another board member about the proxies and then ask that board member not to say anything? And I'm going to ask Mr. Matthews a question. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the rest of the board was kept, the rest of the board has kept everything regarding this election out in the open and in front of all the members. Everything Darrell is doing is in the shadows and behind the curtain. Changing the rules of the game in the fourth quarter at the 2-minute warning is not fair to any of the other candidates. Most people would call that cheating. All Darrell has done here is expose his true character, or lack thereof. So Darrell, to recap, Darrell made a motion to adopt our proxy procedure, which passed unanimously, then decided state law would allow for a candidate to print their own proxies, refused to bring that information to the board so we could address it, started collecting his own proxies on January 30th, then he refused to show up when a special meeting was called on February 10th. When the vote didn't go his way, he filed a complaint against us. And that, my friends, are why we're here tonight. And I just have one last thing to say. That's my defense, but I just do want to say this real quick. The saddest thing about this whole fiasco is not me. It's not me. I don't care. You know, I'm trying to do something good for this community, and that's all I tried to do when I got on this board. It was a clown show. Every board meeting was a clown show. And they had just hired Mr. Krigler, and I thought, you know what, maybe if we get some good people on the board with some integrity, some intelligence, maybe we can turn this thing around and make this water company stronger. The worst thing about this whole situation is the employees of the water company. The employees of the water company feel this. It's draining their morale. They have to deal with, people see the board and think, oh, those guys are a bunch of clowns. And that's the way some people perceive the employees. And I'm talking about everybody from top to bottom. Everyone I've met at this company is awesome. And I would hire any of these people at my own business if I had the opportunity to. And last thing I'd say, we finally got a CEO that we can trust. An intelligent CEO who knows what he's talking about. He's honest. He's a man of integrity. He treats his employees well. He takes care of customer service issues very well, which I was impressed a couple of times this past year. We had some big issues, and he was able to come up with some solutions that worked for everybody. Mr. Jeff Krigler is a sought-out man. There's other water companies that would love to have him on board. And if we keep creating this kind of clown show from the board of directors, he's going to walk, and I don't blame him. And that would be the saddest part of this whole thing, because board members are replaced every 3 years. But we can get a good CEO in this company that could stay for 10, 20, 30 years and make this company strong, healthy, and serve this community like it's supposed to. That's all I have, and I really appreciate everybody coming out tonight.
Director,
oh yeah, I do have a witness.
Witnesses.
I do have a witness. Mr. Joe Campbell, I'm going to call him as a quick witness.
Next slide, please. So the bylaws... Hello?
Yep.
So the bylaws allow directors to make equitable, uniform rules when deemed necessary for the conduct of business. Next slide. Now I'm going to show you why it was necessary. So this is the voting history from 2006 to 2012. 277 votes was the average for the winner. After 2020, it's been 370 votes. But in between, you can see where Darrell Lynchard in 2018 got 970 votes, 1,434 proxies. In 2019, the board voted to verify proxies, and that's important. And on the left is a message Darrell put out back last year, I believe, that says, again, it's the same process we use this year. Come and have your proxy validated. At no point was anybody turned away from using a proxy. Next slide. I think you might have skipped one, but that's okay. So here is the one more. Okay. So here's the board code of conduct, and this is the issue that really gets me. Kind of echoing what David said was, had there been an issue identified, you come to the board and the whole board makes a decision. Darrell is always big on the board, not one individual, until it doesn't benefit him. So putting the interest of the organization above personal interest, to me, this fits this case, where that's not what happened here. Representing the organization on a positive note, we've got the media here, and I'm sure it's going to make all the news tomorrow. Again, the reputation of Holly Navarre Water System is based on the board, not the hardworking members. There was 81 days to get proxies. At no time was anybody denied proxies. The process is you validate that the proxy is valid so you don't have an anomaly in 2018 of 1,434s stuffing the ballot box, ballot harvesting. We want fair elections. That's the goal. Anything else like this, in my opinion, lacks integrity and is unethical. Thank you.
I would also like to call Mr. Don Linnell as a witness. Take your time.
There was something wrong with your data, Joe.
Got it right from our records.
If I had 1,434 proxies, I would have had more than 970
So Don Linnell, 2586 Second Court, Navarre. As hopefully everybody in this room can remember, 10 minutes ago I was sitting up there. So my name used to be on this list.
It is. You got to get closer, Don.
It's on.
It's on.
Oh, okay. Yes, it is on. I'll stand closer. So I also had a few things prepared. In particular, I'll answer a couple of questions that Darrell asked that I think Dave wisely did not and some of the others did not. But I personally think that Will is a very capable lawyer. I think his law offices are very capable, and I think they serve us well. That said, and some of this going back and forth with Will and Mr. Lovett, yeah, Mr. Lovett, his associate there, asking, I had a problem with this Florida statute 617-0721. And I was asking some clarifying questions. And one answer, Holly Navarre Water System may also reject an incomplete copy of a proxy number where the copy presented is missing pages. Okay, he continues, as we have previously advised, we do not interpret, and I want to highlight the word interpret Florida law to permit Holly Navarre Water System to require a specific proxy form. He told us. He told us they do not interpret it that way. So our bylaws allow for proxies. State law allows for proxies. Further says they can only be 11 months if the bylaws don't say something. And our bylaws meet state law. He also made a comment, our policies and procedures can't supersede state law. I reject, all due respect, Will, I reject comments like that out of hand, because one thing I believe in is the only constant is change. Nothing's ever stagnant. And in particular, I think this one was from Mr. Lovett, not from Will. They did not identify any case law after a Westlaw search and a review of the Florida business laws annotated. So they did what the board pays them to do. They gave us their opinion, and they made it clear it is their interpretation because there is absolutely no case law saying you may not reject based on a form. You may not add requirements to your proxy form. There's nothing that says that. So, personally, I was happy saying, I think we followed the law. And if we didn't follow the law, we made it to where that law needs to be decided, not just assumed. And that's it.
Director, do you have other witnesses?
I do not.
Director Lowe?
I think my fellow board members and former fellow board members have summed things up to what I would have said quite well, so that is all I have to say on that.
Director Lowe, do you have any witnesses to call?
I do not.
Director Miller?
Yes, I prepared a statement that I'd like to make. I concur with everything that, David and his witnesses have said, but I feel like I do want to read my statement. It's very short. It'll only take a couple of minutes. I've served on the Holly Navarre Water Systems Board of Directors since 2018. In that time, I've seen a lot of great things happen with our water system. There have been major improvements in our infrastructure, technology, water quality, and the services that are offered to our members. I've also seen improvements in transparency and election integrity over what it was when I first became a board member. Back then, proxies were mailed out to every member, and there was fraud and harvesting of proxies in order for a handful of directors to control who they wanted to be on the board with them. For years, our members have asked us to end the fraudulent use of proxies, but doing away with proxies completely is not allowed since our bylaws require them. Over the last several years, I've worked with the rest of the board to establish election procedures that allow proxy voting as required by the bylaws, while putting some controls in place that verify that only valid members who wish to give their proxy to someone else are doing so. For the last 2 years, that process has been for members to contact the office, verify that they are a member in good standing, and request a proxy. We also created a process whereby members can vote absentee ballot in lieu of giving their proxy to someone else. That was never allowed before, and we had quite a few absentee ballots this year. Those procedures have gone a long way toward improving the integrity of Holly Navarre Water System elections and eliminating the harvesting of proxies as had been done for years. I think last year we had only a handful of proxies submitted in the election, which is a good thing. In August of last year, all 7 members of this board unanimously approved the election procedures that were being followed up until a few weeks ago when Director Lynchard and his supporters decided to print their own proxy forms and go around town asking people to give their proxy to one of them. This was not in line with the policies and procedures approved by the board, and there's no way for staff to verify for certain that the proxies they obtained were from legitimate members in good standing of Holly Navarre Water System. This issue came before the Board of Directors at a special meeting on February 10th, and the board voted to uphold the election policies that had been unanimously voted on months prior and to not allow changes in the last week prior to the election. If we had voted to allow unverified proxies to be counted at the 11th hour, it would have certainly been against the will of the majority of our membership, and it would look like the board was giving special treatment to a sitting member on our board. Voting by proxy is allowed both in our bylaws and in Florida statutes, but nowhere does it say that organizations cannot have controls in place to ensure that proxies are valid and not fraudulently obtained. So the question before the membership this evening is whether you want to go back to the old way of doing things and allow massive use of proxies in our election with no way of verifying them, or allow voting by proxy, but with controls in place to verify that any proxy submitted is valid and from a legitimate member in good standing. I've been part of some great things that this water system and this board of directors has accomplished over the last 8 years, and there are many more great things that can be done if we focus on the positive and get past all of this negativity. I ask that you vote to keep us on the board, working for you, the members. Thank you all for your time, and thank you for being here at this meeting.
Director Miller, do you have any witnesses to call?
I do not.
Director Crumley, you have presented charges against Director Lynchard. Would you like to proceed?
Yes. I'm charging Darrell Lynchard with the exact same thing that he's charging us 5 with. The exact same thing. He is the one that made the motion at that meeting to accept the election paperwork as presented, to accept the proxy procedure as presented. He feels like that was wrong. It was, according to him, it's against the law. So, pursuant to Article 8, Section 6 of the Holly Navarre Water Systems bylaws, I hereby call for the removal of board member Darrell Lynchard. On August 20th, 2024, the above-named board member voted to violate Article 7, Section 5, as well as Article 9, Section 1 of the Holly Navarre Water System bylaws and Florida Statute 617.0721. This action disenfranchises one or more members of the Holly Navarre Water System who are in good standing and opens Holly Navarre Water System up to unnecessary litigation. According to the Holly Navarre Water System bylaws, Article 8, Section 6, these charges are being made in writing and should be heard at the next meeting of the members scheduled for February 18th, which is where we are right now. That's all I have.
Do you have any witnesses to call?
I do not.
Director
I do
Lynchard,
not.
would you like to be heard?
Oh, yeah. I just want everybody to know that I do agree with the election procedures we've had. That's the way we do it up here. That being said...
Speak up.
Can we turn these mics up? Because I'm kind of yelling at this point.
You don't have to say a thing, it's cool.
Get closer to the mic. Remove the mic closer.
Okay. Here we go. Election procedures are what they are. We vote on them every year. That doesn't mean that I, myself as a member, don't get to avail myself to the rules that we have. Section 6 of our bylaws say directors of this corporation shall be elected, or Section, let's see here, 5 says voting by proxy shall be permitted. We can do it. We always have here. Section 617 did someone say something? Okay. Section 617.0721 of the Florida statutes say that we can vote by proxy. It says that you cannot reject a proxy for any reason other than if you believe it has a false signature on it. Doesn't say that it has to be printed by Holly Navarre Water System or anyone else. It just says it has to be legitimate. Now, your proxy, or the proxies that we issue here, are good for one vote for the board of directors. That is useless to me. I would like to see us change our bylaws. The proxies that I created will allow us to vote to change the bylaws, not the ones that the water system created. I do have a question, though, going back. I've not been informed that this would cost us $10,000. This has cost us $10,000. So I want to know where that number came from.
This is the estimate from Will Dunaway.
So, Mr. Dunaway, that's your estimate, that this right here has cost us $10,000.
Do you have further information to present, Director Lynchard?
Holly Navarre Water System in the year 2000, we were in a fight with the county. We fought them to the District Court of Appeals. You know what that fight was about? It was about proxies. You know which side we were on? We were on the side that said that we were going to be using proxies and the county couldn't stop it. We won. So proxies are They're what they are. I haven't broken any laws like the board has. I haven't violated our bylaws like the board has. I guess that's it.
Director Lyncher, do you have witnesses to call?
No, I don't.
Members, you've heard the charges and you've heard the responses according to Section 6. We will now open for voting on this matter. Now, members, I want to remind you that the process is going to be that the staff will be back at the tables in the foyer. Oh, I'm sorry, right here in the corner where, raise your hand again. So in the back corner. We'll ask that you orderly get in line to get a ballot, mark your ballot, and then put it in the box. And let's move as speedily as possible. You did hear that the chairman indicated there would be a member forum following the counting of these ballot, at which point you may be heard.
I'm wondering why we didn't read the whole list of how many votes everyone got. Is that?
Was that?
That'd be, I don't want to work that long. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, just to remind everybody, it's the same. You get one vote per household. One vote per household.
Yeah.
I think he's looking at you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You gonna get us in trouble?
I graduated, in fact, I was at Lake Bloom. My daughter and I graduated from college. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Good to see you.
University of Florida. Yeah. We went there,
My daughter was in the go the other 2 years. Like, kind of took her
my grandson was down there. He lives in Houston, and he graduated there. And so, I told him
I encourage you to do that. I could never done it.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to get my. And then I went in straight in. I yes, usually it's just kind of. But now I'm now the head with the meeting of the election of the board. I lived over on and
I think all that goes into factors
What's the bump with all that? Dude, I do it too. Watch out! I saw you on me over there. I got some I think it is. Press and do.
did the, like, with the, I don't know where that came from.
See, I don't know where some of the stuff came from. Here's what I would say is, if I had to change my 31 seconds, I just go back and look at that year. I know that where there was a huge, that year in particular, even though I had a lot of building and there was some
I watched all that happen. So.
my idea back there, whatever. See, and that's the thing. That's that those this stuff that they're talking about, that they're hypothetic and all,
I was looking at your rug and I was like,
I'd like to bring these
Oh my goodness.
I get it, okay. Okay, well, I just want to make sure, I was searching for that compliment,
I just forgot the ending.
the election, and those are The difference is, mine is used for living or anything. Theirs is good. Which means it's useful. You did what,
The exited stage left, I was trying to catch him. Oh, yeah. Everything you got to think.
I know, right?
You know? Yeah, it needs to be a lot closer. Joe, come on. Dean White. They're trying to figure out how to best.
I can't remember your church.
I gotta take it home and turn it into English. Sometimes. Although I've had some good times. Wow.
Check it out.
There's
coming back up? When you come out. What'd you do to yourself, Don? Don, behind you. What did you do to yourself? I just see the first time I've been making walk on the other side. I'm just saying, so, and I haven't been there since Christmas. Oh, you're getting around like that. It was you getting around like the champ, and him rolling around on a goddamn scooter. Winter. Yeah. I'll tell you what, you don't want to sit in these two chairs. Isn't this one yours? Yes. But this one was yours, right? No. Where does he go?
Members, if I could have your attention for just a minute. If anyone has not yet picked up a ballot and voted, please do so now. We'll be closing the voting of this Section 6 momentarily. So if you've not picked up your ballot, please go and do so now.
How you doing? Off-duty training. Well, if it's a call, I went home about 30 minutes to do this on. About 2.5 years. Yeah, no, I mean, pretty good. Yeah, I worked, retired. 32 years. Really? I worked for Trump while I was I think you would have turned it. I think you would have sorry. It's the other way around. I've heard the name before. I know a lot of your compadres. There's a lot of I don't know that. I don't know how, but I mean, I know a lot of them. They swapped us to 12-hour shifts, and I don't know. Anyone else in vacation, I never come. We hired them. I love it. Best place to work. I mean, he went back to the top. Oh, yeah. That's big. That's the problem. 90% of sheriff's departments, whatever, across the nation. That's why it's on the end of the I'm trying to figure out how to take it. Is that what you're doing? You're figuring out how to take all of it. It's something. Look at this.
When that meeting is, I didn't catch when the meeting was. I'll ask him. I'll ask him. I write, just comes, but I don't retain it. And ask through my phone.
They do that.
Yeah, I'll ask him.
Refresh my
all going to be in the news. It'll all be in your news, in your paper.
Or what level was that? He retired. But he was in charge of it. Smaller than you. And they were very respected. And they were even doing the undercover, throw out their hair, throw their beards out.
27.
27th, what time? Thank you.
Right. They come to the hell of he started that in like 60s or 70s. Okay, a lot less fun. Anyway, I'll let you get back Unfortunately, I think we skipped all this. Everybody came in, had their mind made up. They knew which way they were going. Formality.
Democratic process.
Give them a chance.
Welcome to the circus.
Thank you. Hi, thank you.
What do you do outside of this?
I'm retired. I know. I miss not doing anything. You know how after a while when you're so used to it for years and you're stressed, and then all of a sudden you have nothing. My kids aren't here, my grandkids aren't here, so.
I have a 12-year-old mom, so I got plenty.
Oh, you got plenty. Oh, just wait until we.
Almost there, 12 and a half.
It's a boy. Oh, wow. Yeah. So where does he go to school? Oh, he does? Yeah. I have some grandchildren. I have one that's 14, and she's wrong. And then she has a sister that's 10. My grandkids, and I've got grandson that's 7, and then I have 2 younger ones, and 2 daughters. Now you got something going for me, because I was only Now, you...
I'm not disparaging your work, I'm just telling you,
In Navarre,
you know,
20 years.
it all has to be concentrated.
I know it does.
Nobody else minds if they just go out.
I know. I know. Wow.
Bring anything.
Yeah, that's good. I think you're right. You get me on my toes. Actually, of course, but we would have more families.
But the
So we were here.
You got it.
And we always did stuff out there.
What is
I know, I'm thinking, what?
We are, and we're going to do the minimum.
I'm the caller. Four X's and then a slide. You hit 5, any box, you're going to see stop. All three of you will say it. That's like, so let's say David has 4. David gets 5. Someone's going to say Calvin. All three have to say Calvin for one. So all of them. Because each one gets a box. We don't go forward without, we don't get to hear.
All right, everybody. Again, thank you so much for everybody's patience. Thank you for coming out tonight. And thank you for participating in the vote today and in the vote tonight as well. We're going to, while they're counting, they're up at the table counting these votes. We're going to go ahead and do the member forum, and that way we can still be productive while they're taking care of the ballots. So I've got 4 names, and does anyone feel the need to address the board or have anything to say they'd like to say? I guess it's already been said, huh?
College person by name?
Harlan?
Do you mean other than the names that are signed up, or what are you saying?
Well, you're on the list, so if you'd like to speak.
I just want clarity on what you were talking about is all. That's all.
Oh, I just meant if, we always seem to get some folks that aren't on the list, and I'll accept that as long as we have time.
Yeah, I was curious, so I went and found the pen, but that's mine. I don't have my name on it, but it's mine.
All right.
I figured it at the house, so.
If you don't mind, just state your name and your address real quick, Mr. Hall.
Harlan Hall, 7712 Manatee Street, Navarre, Florida. Okay, I got a couple of questions for you, just because I don't really understand.
Okay.
Hypothetically, if the vote is to remove 1, 2, 3, or 4 members, or however it comes up, what do you do with those seats?
That's a question that me and Mr. Miller were talking about. Some of the seats can be appointed by the board, and there's something in our bylaws which, it has to be thank you. Mr. Dunaway's going to answer that one for me. Thank you.
Sorry, I just was curious.
No, it's a great question.
Good question.
And to answer the question, per our bylaws, if a director is removed, or if a vacancy occurs on the board for any reason other than removal, the board of directors votes to replace that director. But if a director is removed through the Section 6 process, so if a director is removed as a result of this vote, then that director's position is filled by a vote of the members at the next member meeting. In this case, unless a special member meeting were called before the annual meeting, that would be in January of 2026. A special meeting of the members can be called by the chairman of the board or acting chair, if there is no chairman, with 10 days' notice, not greater than 50.
Does that clarify?
Yes, I get it. I got another question, because I don't 100% understand the proxy situation.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've been busy with other things, and haven't made a lot of meetings here in the last 4 months. But I think all of you directors have seen me at a lot of meetings prior to that.
Yeah, here.
But this proxy thing, I don't quite understand. Have we accepted the proxies that are in question previously?
The proxies that were in question that were not gathered through the Holly Navarro water system were not used to vote for directors tonight.
No, I know they weren't, but in the past elections, were they previously used?
Apparently, years ago, they used, it was
Okay,
a
I mean, I'm
circus,
not
yeah.
trying to create an argument.
Well, I'm not arguing, I
just.
just don't, I've only been on the board 2 years, but as far as I know, they have been before.
We followed the Florida statutes and the bylaws in the past.
Okay. That's,
Okay,
I just want a little clarity on the process is all.
okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Being as I've just spoke with your acknowledgement, would you let me ask you one more question?
Oh, certainly, yes, absolutely.
Somebody in the audience that didn't want to get up here asked me to come up and ask.
Okay.
We just had an election with, I believe, 14 to 16 members running, is that?
We had 11.
Okay, I was off on that. But anyway, with 11 members running and X number filled seats, if there was a vacancy or multiple vacancies, why wouldn't you just use the election that just happened because it was a board, it was a vote of the membership which would save Holly Navarro Water System money to setting up another election, printing more ballots, mailing out. I know mail these days, you got 17,000.
It's expensive.
Don't quote me on that, but isn't it 17,000
Yes,
or
sir.
something members? That, you mail out a postcard, it costs a shit ton of money. Sorry, it costs quite a bit of money. I'm sorry, people.
Yeah.
I worked construction all my life. It takes a lot for me to.
So to answer your question, the reason we won't be able to do that is because it's not in our bylaws. We have to follow
That's
what the
fine.
bylaws say. Unfortunately, I think that would be a perfect solution because we have a whole list of people right here. That's exactly what I was looking at earlier. I was like, well, we could just pick this person, they're the next two in line, but that's not how we have to do it.
Like I say, another member had that question and
Good question.
was a little stage fright to come up here. So.
Okay, no worries.
Anybody else got to go there themselves?
Absolutely, I'll give you, would you like to go ahead and say it? Okay, I'll make the announcement. Let me stand real quick. Let me say something real quick. Hey,
But I didn't realize they were gonna break it up like they
would you
did.
like to say something? I'm gonna give Carlos a chance, I just want to. Okay, everybody, we're gonna allow the new board members to make a statement, and Ms. Carmen Reynolds would like to say something.
Good evening. I hope everyone can hear me. I wanted to sincerely thank you for those of you that might have voted for me in this audience. I've been coming to these meetings for years because it is a citizen's obligation to participate in something so near and dear, which is an issue of survival. We have to have food and water to survive. Florida Tax Watch says that this year, Florida will start seeing significant water shortages. And so it is incumbent upon us to be interested in these subjects. We have just overcome the bad legacy of a previous CEO, and we are very fortunate now to be on an even keel. We talked about the staff not liking what's going on because of the notoriety, and you as a community, I am embarrassed, gravely embarrassed personally, and you all must feel very embarrassed of what is going on. I want to assure you that I will be a team player, but that doesn't mean I won't ask questions and dig for you. And as a community, this is very, very, very embarrassing. This is about teamwork, and we heard, and I fought against these rate increases, but we were told they were needed for infrastructure and to shore up our cash reserves. I would hate to see that litigation would start frittering away what is needed for these priorities. And I felt that you all deserve to hear my position on this tonight. And again, I thank you for your vote, and I will do everything in my power to be a responsible citizen on this board. Thank you.
Thank you.
We ready?
Yes, sir.
I'm only going to read the remove. David Crumbly. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller.
Yep.
David Crumbly. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. Daryl Winter. Daryl Winter. Daryl Winter. Come back to that one. Daryl Winter. Daryl Winter.
Tally.
Daryl Winter. Daryl Winter. Daryl Winter. Daryl Winter. Daryl Winter.
Tally.
Daryl Winter. Daryl Winter. Daryl Winter. Daryl Winter. David Crumbly. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. Daryl Winter.
Tally.
Daryl Winter. Crumbly. Rob Lowe. Darrell Lynchard. Mark Miller. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard.
Tally.
Darrell Lynchard. Rob Lowe. Tally.
Tally.
Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. David Crumbly.
Tally.
Darrell Lynchard.
Darrell Lynchard.
Tally.
Lynchard. David Crumbly. Rob Lowe. Darrell Lynchard. Mark Miller.
Tally.
David Crumbly. Rob Lowe. Darrell Lynchard. Mark Miller. David Crumbly. Rob Lowe. Darrell Lynchard. Mark Miller. Darrell Lynchard.
Tally.
David Crumbly. Rob Lowe. David Crumbly.
Tally.
Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard.
Tally.
Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard.
Tally.
Darrell Lynchard. David Crumbly. Rob Lowe.
Tally.
Darrell Lynchard. Mark Miller. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard.
Tally.
Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. David Crumbly. Rob Lowe. Darrell Lynchard. Mark Miller. David Crumbly. Rob Lowe. Darrell Lynchard. Mark Miller.
Tally.
Darrell Lynchard.
Tally.
See that, heard that now?
Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard.
Tally.
Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. None had to check on the remove column. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard.
Tally.
Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. David Crumbly. Darrell Lynchard.
Tally.
Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. Darrell Lynchard. David Crumbly.
Tally.
Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe.
Tally.
Mark Miller. Darrell Lyncher. Darrell Lyncher.
Tally.
Darrell Lyncher. Darrell Lyncher. Darrell Lyncher. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Darrell Lyncher. Mark Miller. Darrell Lyncher.
Tally.
No removes. Darrell Lyncher. Darrell Lyncher. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller.
Tally.
David Crumley.
Tally.
Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. He said tally.
Yeah.
David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe.
Tally.
Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller.
Tally.
David Crumley.
Tally.
Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe.
Tally.
Mark Miller. David Crumley. There it is, yes. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. David Crumley.
Tally.
David Crumley. Darrell Lyncher. Darrell Lyncher. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller.
Tally.
David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley.
Tally.
Rob Lowe.
Tally.
Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller.
Tally.
David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley.
Tally.
Rob Lowe.
Tally.
Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller.
Tally.
David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley.
Tally.
Rob Lowe.
Tally.
Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller.
Tally.
David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley.
Tally.
Rob Lowe.
Tally.
Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller.
Tally.
David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley.
Tally.
Rob Lowe.
Tally.
Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller.
Tally.
David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller.
They're almost done.
David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley.
Tally.
Rob Lowe.
Tally.
Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller.
Tally.
David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. I have several that I wanted to review here. So this first one, appeared to be a vote for Darrell Lyncher, but I want the canvass and community opinion on that one.
And say this was rejected and this was rejected. These are votes and this is a vote.
So one for Darrell Lyncher.
That's what I have.
Okay.
Tally.
Tally.
I believe this is the same situation. I don't know, it appears to be initials.
Yeah.
Or we can not count it.
I believe it's
Check.
this was scratched out initially.
Yeah. It's a vote for Darrell.
Darrell Lyncher.
Okay.
This is the, that's probably not a valid ballot.
No, I don't like that one.
This one would appear to be a remove vote for everybody. Do you agree with that, Mike? Remove for everybody?
X and the different.
Yeah, remove everybody, isn't it? Okay.
David Crumley.
Tally.
Rob Lowe.
Tally.
Darrell Lyncher. Mark Miller. And this would appear to be a vote for the three and not I can't read what that says.
Error.
I would read, error me. That's error. David Crumley. Rob Lowe. Mark Miller. I hope that doesn't say. I can't believe what the math on that. Top line. Actually, you need, oh, that's not 71.
No.
Okay, total.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. I know, tell me what to do, thanks.
I'm gonna have y'all read each. So we all have. Right, remove votes for David Crumley.
66.
66. Okay. Remove votes for Rob Lowe.
61.
61. Okay. Darrell Lynchard.
82.
82. Okay. Mark Miller.
59.
59. We counted a total of 142 ballots, so the middle of that would be 71, so 72 votes would be removed, if I understand the logic correctly. So.
Is that right?
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, you signed yours, I signed yours.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Thank you. Came alive, it was that.
Right on this one. Across the whole thing? X. Exit. Not counted.
Void. The old check days.
Oh, so it's 141. That's one of the 142. So total's 141. So that makes we count it in the total. Oh, I see what you mean. It just doesn't. It doesn't. It's late.
I was just gonna say that. You beat me to it. It's gotta be your bedtime, Hoss. You guys wake up at the crack of dawn.
So announce the total and then announce each one and then announce the consequence of that. And we'll discuss the filling of the one position at the reorganization now. Guess what I mean. Don't even say that.
All right, so we had 142 votes, and with 82 votes, the removal of Director Lynchard.
Yes.
We will,
I guess I'm chairman again. So, again, guys, thank you so much for coming out, and we're gonna do better. We're not gonna let this ever happen again, right? We can't keep wasting our money, and we have to make sure that these elections are clean and fair, and we're gonna do everything we can to do both of those jobs. Keep the costs down here, start building some revenue to replace some of this old infrastructure. So I'm excited for this year. I can almost guarantee you there's going to be some litigation, so I'm not excited about that, but we are going to move forward, and we're going to make this the best water company this town has ever seen. And again, I want to thank Jeff Krigler, I want to thank Emerald, I want to thank everyone that helped us today with this vote, and everybody that works at the club at Hidden Creek as well. I think they're awesome and doing a great job. So, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
make a motion to adjourn.
Second.